tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to the Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to.
Rah!
Yes, thank you so much for joining us for the 501 episode of Tinfoil Hat. I just want to say thank you to everybody who came to Vegas for the 500th. It couldn't have gone better. It's such a blessing. I know my mic was a little hot at the beginning, but you know what? That's called excitement, okay? That's called love. That's called the power of rock, okay?
That's episode 500.
That's episode 500. What, do you think I was going to come in easy? How you think I was just going to go fucking tiptoe through the tulips? No, bro. I go hard in the paint, homeboy, and sometimes I redline, okay? That's how we do it. Join me as always, the guy who sat next to me, Xavier Guerrero.
What's up?
And on the ones and twos, Jay Nice. Johnny Woodard. Johnny, I have your... Jay Nice crushed it in the stand-up thing.
Netflix special coming.
Netflix.
Coming,
I mean,
dude.
got a standing O.
For real. You
The
dig
only
it.
standing O in the entire stand-up set. Jay Nice gets it, shitting on all of us.
It was great.
That was a little bit of a cheat, wasn't it?
How would you describe his style? I have two words for you. Lewis Black. Okay, that's like the angry, observational guy of conspiracy.
Interesting.
That was great.
Is that
I
good
didn't
or bad? I
expect
think
it.
that's good.
It was great.
No, yeah,
And
that's.
Expect fire.
I was
Just
shitting-
expect
I was shitting
fire when
myself,
you see.
so.
Yeah.
Spec fire,
I
bro.
was shitting my pants.
You were shitting your pants? Maybe that's why you're so funny. There's nothing funnier than a grown-ass man shitting his pants.
That's true. That is true. It was really. You're right though. It was so cool putting faces to a lot of names that I like people I've interacted with on social and stuff, and kind of meeting all of them. It was awesome.
The picture
Had such a good
of
time.
like the packed room while we were going, how far it went back was great. We owe you guys huge. We love you very much, Swarm.
Big time.
Thank you so much. And I'm having some computer programming problems. That's why it's not on my podcast. I mean, on SamTripoli yet, or no, excuse me, on Rockfin yet, but it will be. I'm just dealing with some stuff now. But thank you all so much for joining me. I loved it, and joining all of us. 2 shows packed out, and it's probably one of the best nights of comedy I've ever had. So without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you very much. Now back to business. You know, things are cooking with gas. I'm going to be in Miami this weekend, and I hope anybody from Florida.
You and anybody else?
Anybody else gonna come join me? I mean, I've been on this run of greatness, and now I'm looking at ticket sales, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe just hot fucking chicks in Miami aren't into 48-year-old conspiracy theorists.
Hey, there's 5 shows, so you don't complain about the times. There's times for him to go. Go be early, late
see
night.
me.
Go see him.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. For you who have already bought tickets, just know I'm coming and I'm dropping the hammer of the gods. Okay.
The new.
The new. Okay. I'm bringing it. Okay. Just know I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it. And guess where else I'm bringing it to? I'm bringing it to Boise, Idaho, and Salt Lake City. Those tickets are already moving. Grab your tickets now, okay? I think the Salt Lake, there's only like 50 tickets left. So grab them now. It's the 11th and the 12th, and the Hammer of the Gods is coming, okay? The Hammer of the Gods. So grab them. I got Chris Neff is from Cash Daddies, and my good friend Zane Helberg will be there. Come join us. New material. I'm constantly working on new shit. Probably will have about 20 minutes on this guy at Starbucks. Okay. Fucking double mask guy yelling at me about my nostrils.
You said you're looking for venues though.
Oh, I'm going to be in Tampa December 11th or 12th. 10th. December 10th. The 11th, which is Saturday, I'm looking for a gig, and I'm thinking about going to Fort Lauderdale. If anyone knows a rock venue that would be willing to do a door deal with Darrow Daddy, okay, hit me up because I want to come to Fort Lauderdale with my buddy Law Smith and do some time. I think Eddie Bravo might be in Tampa. I got to figure that out. But yeah, come get weird, hang out with me. I will let you know for sure next week if Eddie's coming. I don't know if it's the Sam Tripoli show or Eddie Bravo show. We will figure it out. But yeah, man, dates. After I do that day, I think I'm going to take the rest of the year off and honestly focus on, guess what? Take a guess.
Babies.
Guns, okay? Guns,
okay.
Shooting guns. I got all these guns. I haven't
Forget
been able
your
to shoot
children,
them. Dude, they're like, they're going to be almost 2 years at that point. They can learn to take care of themselves.
Well, who do you think those guns are protecting?
Yeah, I mean,
The
they're going to thank me
babies,
when zombie fucking pedophiles are coming and I'm just fucking boom, 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 putting steel in these fucking scumbags, okay? Guys, a lot of great action going on at
Rockfin.
That's right. ROKFIN. Go check it out. It's I'm putting on 6 episodes there. He's putting on how many on there?
At least 2-3 a week. So
2-3 a
we don't
week,
smoke
and then
the
this
same.
guy over here, he's putting up Broken Sim. Occasionally we'll do that. You're talking almost 10 episodes from just this show a week. And for $10 a month, you get everybody on there. Jimmy Dore, Jason Burmese, everybody's there.
Dude.
Everybody's there.
Isaac Weissman just made a whole episode on Tinfoil Hat Podcast Mount Crushmore accepting speech.
Oh my God, we got an acceptance speech.
On Rockfin. Go check that out
I'm
over
gonna
there.
Go check it out. Hopefully, he talks about how important I am to his life because I had to ask you guys to mention how important I was to you in the show. I said nice thing about you, and I just waited for you guys to go, and of course you didn't because you're too busy trying to see who had big tits in the audience.
Dude,
Okay.
don't stop inviting girls with big tits to the audience, and
Hey,
maybe we won't.
Conspiracy Smoke Show is going to be smoke shows, okay? Guys, a lot of great shirts are out now. Go to tinfoilhattshirts.com and check out the shirts. We got we're the loose
Taliban skydiving team, the Taliban disobey.
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Are they gonna get? Are you gonna gift them with the 500 or that was exclusive?
I'm
We've been debating it.
right
Yeah, we've
now.
been debating
I said on
it.
stage I wasn't going to put it on the internet. I'm debating.
What those concerts?
Yeah, the 500.
The 500.
He's on it. He's gonna want to sell.
Yeah, I mean, if you said you weren't going to do it, no.
Yeah, I know. I
hard.
kind of boxed myself into it.
Yeah, you could maybe.
So I'll sell them on the road.
That's
So
enough.
they're going to be once they're done, they're gone. Sell them on the road. Okay. So then we got we're the loose yet. Give me the loose.
Give me the loose.
That's what, and you guys got to check out Give Me the Loose hoodies.
Has that SpaceX shirt always been up there? I just noticed.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know how much it's moving.
SpaceX.
I don't know how much it's moving.
So dumb.
But check it out, guys. And anything else that
What's
I missed?
that with the
anything?
kid? What is that? Why is there a kid there? What is
Oh,
that?
we got, dude. Tinfoil is for the kids, dude. We got a little tinfoil hat T-shirt for the kids.
For the children.
For the children.
For the children, bro. Dude, Wu-Tang's for the children. We're for the people.
That's just weird. That's the only one with a
kids
model.
are part of people.
Isn't
Okay.
it weird that that's the only one with the model is the one that's for a kid? Or all the others just.
I'm on there. I'm modeling a couple.
Right. Look.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Thank
Why
you.
is that though? How did that happen?
He's
That-
asked me to take pictures in all of them,
Oh, I
and
got
I'm
you.
just
Okay.
too lazy.
I got you. Okay, there we go.
I'm too big. Anything else, guys? Anything?
No, we're gonna have a new jumbo size broken sim next week. So
Jumbo
get ready for
size.
that.
Word is on the street. 2-parter. Hit it or quitter.
You guys have a black guy on there?
Hey! I don't even know what that means.
either.
All right, guys. I'm sorry about that. Guys, we got a great podcast with the Occult Rejects. We go deep into the secret society. It's a long one. It's a banger. It's for you, the people. Enjoy.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of
I had deja vu. I feel like we've done this before. Here we are, guys. Welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Hat. We got some great guests for you. So here we go. I'm very excited to have these guys on. We've been trying to make this happen, and we've tried and tried, and now we're trying again, and we're going to make it happen. Very excited to have them on. They have a great podcast called the Occult Rejects. Please welcome New York and Lux. How are you guys?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having us on.
I appreciate you guys coming on. We were trying to make this happen, and it just took a couple, like, finding the right dates, and it happened. Are you guys excited about the date you guys got?
Yes. Lux, you want to explain what I said before?
Well, you picked it out specifically. The only part that I put in was the Jupiter part. So you had said that you picked it specifically for, well, one, today's a full moon.
Yes, and Wednesday. And, because Wednesday is associated with Mercury, and that's a very good day for knowledge, speech, and communication. So I figured a full moon on Mercury would help. And then I had noticed that at 4:17, the hour of Jupiter started, which is good for good fortune and abundance. And then you pointed out that the metal associated with Jupiter is also tin.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
Like I said, man, I said this 1,000 times. I all this stuff, gematria, all this stuff, just makes me believe in the simulation even more. And like,
Right.
like I said, I was like, I did a podcast with a young lady, and she was just like bringing up gematria, and I'm like, "Are you fucking with me?" She's like, "No, my brother's really into it. I'm starting to get really into it." And I think gematria is so incredible. I think that's what they use for sports betting too. I think
I've heard
that
that
these
many
sports
times.
books use gematria.
Well, the first time we
yeah.
heard about gematria was that with the Kobe thing. Remember?
Well,
Someone
no. The first time we had a couple people on that talked gematria before that guy, before Bishop Larry Gators, who we do not speak of on this show.
Hiss. Boo.
Is he like the hidden character from Harry Potter, Voldemort?
Yeah,
we don't say that.
speak. He's worm tongue on this show. But there's been people talking about the gematria in sports, how a lot of people are winning money using it. So I think it's interesting. So all that stuff.
Have you heard people making crypto on it?
On crypto, on
Gematria.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt that either.
Yeah, I've heard some people be like, "Yo, get on the gematria crypto train," and it's working. I mean, I've never got into it, but you might have to look into it for some Cash Daddies episode.
I would love to see XG do gematria.
Nah, dude, I can barely add and divide.
Your name is 14 words, okay? And if you go to the 14th letter, that is like some fucked up shit.
Yeah, well, the thing is with gematria too is that a lot of guys, like, they'll just try and make something fit into what they want it to fit into. So it's sort of 50-50. I mean, there's a lot of legitimacy to it, but there's definitely a lot of bullshit too. So
yeah.
So let's get into it with
Especially
you
even
guys.
the online sources to use for gematria. I even think a lot of those are bullshit.
yeah, the number one was that gematria X.
Yeah. You know how you can tell that site is a bunch of bullshit. I've been using that site. I don't know for how long. I mean, probably close to 10 years, and not until the last 4 have you ever seen Trump's fucking name show up ever when you go to throw in numbers. But now all of a sudden it's constant. Somehow his name shows up whenever you throw in anything.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Quite
interesting.
obviously done on purpose.
I mean, it's just everything is a psyop at this point, dude. And just like trust no one. That's my whole thing. My whole thing is like, if you come from a place of like, I don't know jack shit, man, it's like really good because you don't take any real losses. You're like, I don't know what it is, but if you're asking me what I feel, this is kind of how I feel. But I want to get into you guys in your podcast. For those who may not be familiar with you and your podcast, tell us a little bit about yourself and your podcast.
So I'm from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. I'm a former member, and I left years ago. And then after I left, I ended up hearing New York Patriot on a podcast and actually reached out to him because he had a very similar story to my experience with secret societies and why we left. And so I ended up hitting him up. And we decided that we were going to do a podcast together to sort of decode the occult for the general public so that, people can kind of understand what's going on.
Guys, today's episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens, the most comprehensive daily nutritional beverage I've ever tried, and I drink it every day. With so many stressors in life, it's difficult to maintain effective nutritional habits and give our body the nutrients it needs to thrive. Busy schedule, poor sleep, exercise, you name it. They're just like, it's a problem on top of problem, man. But you know what? That's where Athletic Green comes in, okay? Their daily all-in-one superfood powder is your nutritional essential, okay? It is by far the easiest, most delicious habit that you can add to your health routine today and empower yourself to take over your health, okay? One tasty scoop of Athletic Greens contains 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients, including multivitamins, multi-mineral, probiotic, green superfood blends, and more that all work together to fill in the gaps in your diet, increase your energy, focus, aid, and digestion, and support a healthy immune system, okay? So, guys, I mean, I've been taking Athletic Greens forever, but, man, they just sent me this new box. This is what you're getting, man, when you order Athletic Greens. Nice little cool box, and then, bam, look at this. Athletic Greens / a fun towel, if you know what I'm talking about. Socks, again, fun towel. But look at this, dude. Look at that, dude. Look at that.
Even a bottle to drink it out of. That's amazing.
Yeah, bottle drink up. And here's where you keep your Athletic Greens in. You scoop it out, and man, it comes in this gorgeous box. And it's great, dude. I love
packaging, by the way. Quality packaging, nothing gets me harder.
But dude, I mean, dude, it is really good shit. I do it I swear to God, I do it every day.
I will confess, I've heard Sam say that off the air on a number of occasions that he is
like, dude. When I use a product, I tell you about, and I really love it. So this is what's going on. Athletic Greens is doubling down on supporting your immune system during these. Entering the fall months, man. They're offering audience a free 1-year supply of vitamin D. Yeah.
I've been chewing those things, baby. Gotta get
really? You've been chewing some D, bro? That's great, brother. I love that you chew D, dude. I love it. And 5 free travel packets with your first purchase if you visit my link today. You're basically never have to worry about vitamin D again. So whether you're looking for peak performance or better health, covering your bases with Athletic Greens makes investing in your energy, immunity, and gut health each day simple, tasty, and efficient. So this is all you got to do. Simply visit athleticgreens.com/tinfoil and join health experts, athletes, and health-conscious go-getters around the world to make a daily commitment to their health every day. Again, athleticgreens.com/tinfoil for a free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packets. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
What one of you guys is from one secret society, the other one is from another secret society. What are those secret societies?
Yeah. He's from the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and I am from the Ordo Templi Orientis, also known as the OTO.
And what is the vibe on the streets of each of those groups? What is the understanding of them?
I thought it was going to be like Crips and Bloods. They weren't allowed to hang out.
Maybe we don't know yet.
That's what I was going to thought. I thought they were about to beef it.
I'm sure there's
what if this is like a Romeo and Juliet? These two.
What if there's times where Crips and Bloods work together? I'm sure there are times when business is business, and they're like, "Hey, man, let's put this aside. Let's make that money." So.
Oh yeah, there's not a big of difference than people think. I mean, really, the OTO and the Golden Dawn both have had similar members, including Aleister Crowley, but the Golden Dawn says that they don't associate much with Thelema or Crowley much at all now. The longer that I was in, I found that not to be true. But so it's kind of funny because it sounds like they're two totally separate societies, but in reality, based on our experience and our research, we think that they might lead all into similar inner secret societies.
Okay, I got a lot of questions, but real quick, what basically is discussed on the Occult Rejects? What do you guys get into?
Other secret societies, exposing stuff that they've been involved with. We covered the Gateway Project, which I think was like a really good way to show how I think science and magic kind of mix. And that was a good series, I think, to expose that. We've covered talismans, showing you how that stuff works. What else, Lux? What can you think of that we've done?
Well, it's so funny because
we covered Rando Nordica.
Yeah, Rando Nordica. It's just hilarious because, before I was in a secret society, I would go around my daily life. And before I got into the occult, I really didn't see too much that was, out of place. But then after being in a secret society, learning about symbolism, once you learn about that stuff, you can see it everywhere around you and how it's being used to influence the public and sort of shape people's behavior and even politics, science, and how those things get influenced by the occult. We just wanted to kind of decode the occult to show people how it's way more prevalent than they think, because a lot of people have the idea that a secret society or magic or the occult is Harry Potter. And, that's fine because that's generally what's told to the public, but it's way, way different than that. And it's definitely more integrated into society than people believe.
Yeah.
And even the thing is too, with these secret societies, I mean, you have the pyramid scheme, out here where you have like the unknown at the top and then we're on the bottom. You have the same thing inside of those too, which is, part of the reason I think why we both left and why we talk about it, because the same type of manipulation goes on in those orders as well. I believe.
What makes somebody join a secret society?
Well, I mean, the reason why I joined personally was because I had seen all of the terrible stuff that was going on in the world, right? It seemed like there was just total chaos. People didn't trust government. I thought it was totally, non-legitimate. And you see all of these terrible stories like Epstein and all that terrible shit. And so for me, I was like, you know what? If this magic thing is real, it's got to be like electricity. It can be used for good and evil. So if so many people are using it for bad, well, maybe if I learn this stuff, I can protect myself. I can protect my family. Maybe I can help other people out and sort of combat all of this terrible stuff that's going on in the world. And just basically, that was part of the reason, but also because I wanted to learn magical systems to make myself less of a fucking asshole, So.
Respect on that. Not that I do magic, but there are like things I've learned through recovery and just my spiritual journey that is like how to be a better human being, because I just had kids and I want to be a better dad and a better man and so like things like law of attraction, model of abundance, love thy neighbor, use discipline, all those things are kind of things I work on every day. So I completely understand where you're coming from on that. And the more deeper dives I do into this, and it's not even into conspiracies there, but it's really conspirituality, like where conspiracy and spirituality meet, is kind of where I think like a lot of my focus is now today. And so when you talk about seeing all this crazy stuff that happens in the world, do you think sorcerers are running the world? Sorcery?
To an extent, yeah. I think they're definitely influencing and pulling strings, definitely doing something.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they definitely are. Yeah, no, they're keeping
been prevalent the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything to me seems like an occult ritual. And what does that cult ritual do? Like the Super Bowl. It's like it's getting so demonic now. I don't remember, dude, I grew up with like Black Sabbath and stuff like that. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. Sometimes I think that. Am I a giant fucking hypocrite because I liked Black Sabbath, but then I have a problem with Lil Nas? Like, is it? I mean, because don't tell me Black Sabbath wasn't trying to get the kids too. Maybe not as young as what we believe Lil Nas is doing, but am I a hypocrite? Am I being it? Is it more prevalent now, or is it just that now it's in hip hop and I'm like, what the fuck's going on with hip hop when I fully enjoyed all the fucking shout at the devil and like Motley Crue and all that shit?
Do you think you're just more woke, or what they call woke? I hate that term.
Or what it represents?
Yeah, now they actually see it as like not, because I mean I used to love it too. Now I see it and I still love it, but you still look at it differently. I look at it and I'm like, this is more than what just the Super Bowl is.
Yeah, right. Totally. I mean, the Super Bowl used to be super like mainstream. Now it seems to just have gotten little out there. Maybe it's because I get older, and as you get older, you become a more conservative. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Or it's not that you become more conservative. It's that the spectrum shifts on you, so that what you see has now shifted in to the right, no matter what you do.
Because I mean, I
Well,
remember.
I think it's even changed, though. I mean, if you think about it, you think back in the day, talking about Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne. Whenever they got huge popularity, it was always telling people how bad they were, or they're on the news because Ozzy did this or he did that. Now you have those people doing the same thing, but they're being put up on pedestals. Completely different now.
That is totally 100% it, and I guess that is the how it is disseminated, right, is really the biggest difference.
Because when Janet Jackson showed her tits, we all dissed her for it. Now you do it and we celebrate you for it.
Yeah.
That's 100%. The difference. Because when she showed that tit, everybody was like, oh my God, like it's fuck her. That's so rude to the people of America. Now they're twerking. You're like, that's a woman. That's feminism right there. Like, good for her. Look at her doing her job.
That's a great point. Because I remember, like, dude, I mean, you're talking about a guy with a crippling sex addiction at the time, and I'm not getting offended by, a chocolate titty popping out, and I go, hey man, this is like for families, and to this day I feel like that. It's like it's just family. You're hanging out with grandma and the grandkids. You don't want to see chocolate tits or even white tits or Asian tits or whatever tits you are suddenly popping out. It's just like it's not here.
Non-binary tits.
Yeah, excuse me, to the non-binary tits out there. So
well. And there's a big difference too, because a nip slip is way different than you could turn that off if your kids were watching the TV. You could turn it off, but now Lil Nas X is banging it out with the devil, and you can find that on YouTube Kids, and there's no age restriction. Like there's a big difference there,
And do you think that's purposeful for me?
Yes, all by design.
It's all purposeful.
Because if you upload to YouTube, there's like 5 or 6 steps before you get to publishing it. One of them won't even fucking let you go if you say, is this for kids or not for kids? And that means strictly for kids. Like, hey.
100%.
So that song being passed by like how it's not for kids, it's unreal, because it's the first thing it asks you, is it for kids, not for kids?
Yeah, and that seems to be the biggest problem I have with everything that's going on right now, is that there's no set rule. Like everything is personalized, these rules, right? Like I've talked about 1,000 times. I got kicked off. Hold on. I got kicked off of I got a strike on Instagram for posting Hillary Clinton's camel toe, right? And then, but there's entire Instagram accounts dedicated to women's camel toe, like into hundreds of thousands.
Rogan mentioned your name with Tony Hinchcliffe and Red Band. Literally said, he's like, it depends who it is. SamTripoli posted it, got banned. Other people don't get banned. Yeah. He literally said, like, it depends on who they're after.
100%.
He literally said, SamTripoli, just don't even post shit.
Yeah, I don't. I'm like literally on Instagram now just to advertise and look at ass. That's the only reason I'm there.
And basically,
it works.
All right, guys, I want to tell you about our friends at Helix, man. You know what? Most of your life you spend sleeping, and some of you guys don't even think about your mattress. You just lay down and you deal with it. Okay, stop it. There's a solution out there, and it's our friends at Helix. That's right. Johnny, do you have a Helix mattress?
I do. Yeah, I love it.
Helix Sleep is the best, man. I got it. I have 2 of them. And they're both great. I sleep in certain ways. Johnny, what do you sleep? I think you sleep what?
I'm a side.
Knees by your head, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you sleep?
I'm a side back sleeper, yeah.
Yeah, how do you sleep, Xavier?
on my side.
I'm a side sleeper too. I definitely go fetal position, sideways. That's how I sleep. And of course, my dog gets bam right in the corner. So I have no room. I pay for everything. I have no room. But guess what? I have a giant bed, so I don't care because Helix is taking care of me, man. It is very important whether dude, I used to have a really junk bed, and I just got the worst sleep, dude. And thanks to Helix, I sleep on clouds, okay? And how did Helix know what I want? Because they have a wonderful, wonderful quiz. Johnny took it, passed it with A's, okay? I passed it, and I realized what kind of mattress do you have?
Only quiz you ever passed.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. That's true. I like firm and a little soft at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I got the one that's kind of midway soft. Yeah, you take it's a 2-minute sleep quiz.
It takes
even less than that.
Look at it. He's taking it right now, dude. And it was simple, easy, fast. And the best part is you don't even have to go to the store have you heard about these mattress stores and what they're thinking they're fronts for some shady shit? Not Helix, not Helix Sleep.
And they'll rip you off. That's the shadiest thing of all that they do, maybe. It's just ripping people off left and right.
Yeah, not Helix Sleep. They take care of you because they're honest people. I've met them. They're good people, and I love them. Okay, so if you're looking for a mattress, take a quiz. You order the mattress that you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. You don't even need to go to the mattress store. Fuck the mattress store. You can go online and take care of this with our good friends at Helix Sleep, okay? So this is what you're going to do. Just go to helixsleep.com/tinfoil. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, okay?
I'm done.
He's done. He's in. He's out. He's already got another one coming,
I'm buying it right now.
He's buying it right now. It's if Xavier could do it, we can all do it, okay? This is all you do. You go to helixsleep.com/tinfoil and take their 2-minute quiz, and they will match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And guess what? They have a 10-year warranty, and you'll get it. You get to try it out for 100 nights.
On a mattress that you sleep on.
100 nights. Making love on a mattress, and this is how much they care for you. They'll take back your love, man.
They know you're going to love it, dude.
Every night, hitting it. And then you're like, guess what?
I don't want it.
I want it. Guess what? It's never happened in the history of time, okay? Because you make better love on a Helix mattress. That's all I know. Better love, okay? Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/tinfoil, okay? Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/tinfoil. Come on, you deserve to sleep well. So, I mean, back to you guys and what you guys represent. So, you guys, on what you guys want to do with your podcast. So, you guys leave the secret societies. You know, I know, I'm just going to be honest with you, and I'm sure you've heard this before because it's the internet and there's always snarky assholes that talk a lot of shit, not to your face, but on the internet. Once in the secret society, always in the secret society. That this is all you guys have been sent out to do this to get people off the scent. What are your guys? I don't think that. I like everybody comes on. I like to just hear what they have to say, but I know guaranteed there's going to be comments to that. So what are your guys' take on that?
Well, I mean, we've been called shills before in controlled opposition because of saying that QAnon was a psyop. So, I mean, after getting hit with that shit, I really don't care anymore. You can think whatever you want to think. Yeah. Because I'm happy. I'll put it this way. I'm happy and I'm proud with what I'm doing. If you don't like it, oh well. I'm doing what I like. Sorry.
No, I'm with you. I get called. Have you been called a gay Jew shill yet? Have you been called that? That's
a gay Jew boy. Yes, I've been called that.
I get called a gay Jew shill. That's the final level boss right there. That's how you know you made it when you're crossing off all the fucking boxes. Yeah, man, it's just an interesting thing, man. It's just like, and that's what Eddie Bravo was talking about in the 500s. Like, you know, everybody always says the left eats themselves alive. Well, the conspiracy community does it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Everything is just like, oh, you're a shill, you're a shill. Well, it's like, is what I'm saying a shill? Is like my information shilly? I just like.
I think the best is that like we actually don't even make money off of anything. We've spent money on our show. There's no way to send us money. How am I a shill? I'm not making anything.
Yeah,
I know. It's like, oh, you're a fucking shill. What am I getting out of this? Like, what do I get out of this? That isn't like I only eat what I kill. It's not like you see me on a Netflix SamTripoli called Master. You know, no, it's none of that shit.
Yeah, and we never tell anybody what to believe ever. That's not our job. We don't tell anybody what to believe. We don't point you to any person that's going to come save you. We don't cover only Republicans or only Democrats. You know, no one is safe from our research. And I mean, when you go at it with that way, with only your allegiances to the truth and just to show people this information, I think that gives the listeners a good view for, you know, what our intentions are.
Yeah. I mean, I will even say when me and Lux were covering stuff with the Jesters and Shriners, Me and him had thought prior to before that. We had thought for a while that QAnon was a psyop, but then we started coming across things, investigating that topic that really started pointing to the Order of Quetzalcoatl being involved. And me and Lux even had at one point we had to talk, and we're like, if we think this is something worth putting out, are we going to pick a side? Like, we can't do that. If it comes from the right or if it comes from the left, if we think it's an occult psyop or magic, we can't choose. We're just going to point the finger at it and put it out.
Is there a part of Q that reminds you of sigil magic? Meaning,
absolutely,
we're going to tell you everything that we are doing, and if you don't stop it, that's on you, not on us.
Absolutely.
What do you think the Q drops are?
I 100%. So that was said, and anybody, I know there's people that are kind of catching up on the show. You'll go back, hear me say that. I said this could be sigil magic. This could be them telling us everything they're doing because they're gonna fucking just flatten everything, get rid of everything. I don't know if I used the actual term reset everything, but that's what I meant. And here we are.
And you think like that means that one day they'll be like, well, we told you with the Q quote.
You listen to it. Sorry.
Go on. Sorry.
You're good.
I was going to say, I think you listened to our show and heard exactly everything we said, because that was the same exact shit. We said the same thing about their drops. They're telling you what's going on, what's happening, and nothing's going to happen because they're not a savior.
Yeah, and then it lowers your frequency when nothing happens. Gets you depressed,
of course,
sad, you lose.
It makes you become a submissive slave. And now all of a sudden you're looking, oh, well, Trump's not in the government. He's not a politician, but you're still looking to somebody in the government to save you. And that's a problem.
Well, can I ask you something? Is there a part of what the Awakened community did that were QAnons that I think, do you think it's the thing you're supposed to do, which is like, and I don't want to lead this question, but I know I am, but is it like, did they pull out all their energy, their money, their time, their loosh from this system? I mean, I've seen a lot of people creeping back to the Republicans, and I'm just like, you guys know this is like running back and forth from Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, right? You know, you're just running back and forth thinking the other one's going to save you. But there's a large group of people I've seen, particularly in the QAnon, that are like, they're going to the mayor's fucking office. They're going to these board of education meetings, and they seem to be pulling themselves out, right? I mean, pulling their energy out of the system to let it die. Like Terrence McKenna, pull yourself out of a dying system, create your own system. Isn't that something that I see the QAnons doing, which seems to be like the only thing you can do, really?
Well, and here's the thing about QAnon, right? Because a lot of what was put out was absolutely true. And a lot of people want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Well, you believed in QAnon, that means you must be crazy, or you must be a conspiracy theorist or a radical or this and that, all these different terms that they put. But the information in it was true, but it was a psychological operation to put people in a position so that now they either believe, well, everything I learned about QAnon, it's got to be either fake, or the plan is still ongoing, and it's terrible because there was so much real information in the QAnon drops. To me, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to look at what the Q drops were and see that there's real information in there that they have to put out to the public on a spiritual level so that they are not held to any type of karmic repercussion. They have to tell us what they're doing behind closed doors so that they don't get the karma from it. If we don't do anything about it, then they're totally scot-free. So
yeah, I totally agree with that, man. I think that's what it represented, and I think people aren't waking up to it. I think people,
what also it helped with? Bringing more false prophets and idols.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. There's a little bit of that in Bitcoin as well. You see all these people like, I'm Satoshi Nakamoto. And you're like, I don't think you are, bro.
I mean, think of this. You got this guy, Mike Lindell. What does he do for a living? He sells pillows, right?
Yeah.
This shit's supposed to put you to sleep. And motherfuckers think this dude's actually going to come out with some shit that's going to save the world. No, he's putting all of you to sleep in a different way and making money still.
So,
it's bullshit, man. And then you got all these people that QAnon gave you, all these names. They're all just false prophets that people put above themselves.
So going back to kind of what I was saying earlier, is there a part of you that's supposed to take this information and just work on your own shit? Like, the biggest thing I ever learned is like, change yourself, change the world. That's what I learned through spirituality and sobriety. And like, once I changed myself, I changed my perspective and things start to, and that seems to be the biggest thing to do. It's like, you want to vibe with your tribe, but you also can't take on the burden of saving everybody all the fucking time. And you really have to work on yourself and really have to work on your family. And that stuff vibrates out to other people that people come to get you. And it's like when I was in my drug phase, I was vibing with low frequency people, and I don't judge them because I was right there with them. And I hope they can find sobriety as well and start to fucking raise their frequency up. But that's who you start to vibe with. You start to bring in these people when you see the world as colored in dog shit people find you, right? If you see the world colored in sky blue, you find high frequency people starting to find you. And that's to me kind of where it's at, and that gets into sorcery. I know bringing up electricity, that's a wonderful analogy for magic, man. It's just like,
I love that. I do that myself. I think that's part of magic, to tell you the truth.
I agree. I totally agree. So let's get into some of the stuff you guys did. What were your experiences in secret societies? How do you even, you remember for a short time on Instagram, like the Illuminati would DM you about joining them?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, dude, you want to join our super secret society?
And I'm like, I'm already in a secret society. Thanks.
No, that's what I'm wondering. I was like, how did you pick that one? How did you pick Mason?
Yeah. Was it like a job fair that they do at like work, where like the OTO and they all have booths, and you get like hot chicks fucking standing
like
around.
Rush week, at college.
Yeah.
There was a stand in the Costco I went to. There was a guy
Right.
Giving out
next
free
to the
samples.
they pass out.
Yeah, they're giving out hot dogs next to the OTO stand.
Wafers of light.
Right? Yeah, cakes of light, yeah. Why don't you go, Lux? How you came across even joining the Golden Dawn?
Well, I mean, before I kind of set out for the Golden Dawn, I really wanted to figure out which was the most legitimate of the secret societies. Which ones are mail-in, you mail order kind of stuff where you send them money and they give you some, dog shit pamphlet about some false information. And they are definitely out there. And then which ones are obviously aligned to more of like the black occult or the dark occult. And eventually led me to the Golden Dawn, because the Golden Dawn seemed as though it was way more academic, but it seemed as though it was like a school for magic, and it was very rigorous, and they touted themselves as being that way in order to get rid of all the other sort of bullshit and just learn about magical systems. And so I decided to go with that one because it had such a long lineage and history. And honestly, it seems to me, after we've been talking about this for a while in our podcast, it seems like they kind of throw a very broad net. You got the Masons and the Rosicrucians and the Shriners and all these different groups. And so they kind of put these societies out there which attract personality traits. Because let's say you want to go to the OTO, right? Look at the OTO website. It's dark. It's edgy. Probably, some people are going to get attracted to that, where others are going to be an older guy who, I would just want to go join the Mason Lodge. Those are two very different types of people. And so they kind of cast this wide net, and the longer you're in them, they start to feed up into each other, at least in my opinion. So, but that's what I found while I was.
So all roads, in your opinion, somewhat lead to the same place?
I would say 90% of all the roads lead to the same place. Yeah.
It's almost like college sports all lead to pro sports. Like, it's like, you're at all these different colleges, but you hope to get drafted by the NFL, which is one league and stuff like that. But maybe in the long
Yeah.
run, that
Yeah.
interesting.
Or like professional wrestling, where there's this, oh, well, you got this one group and you got this other group, but in reality, it's all a show, and
that's even better. I get that now. Yeah.
So they pretend to be enemies, but in reality, they're shaking the same hands backstage.
It's like wrestlers.
Just like politicians, right? Just like, right? It's just always amazing how, like, when it goes against the people, how the two parties can come together, right? Remember, it's like whether it's like George Bush stealing the election in Florida or Biden stealing the election and just this past. And not that I think Trump is a savior. I make no illusions of that, but it's like, they all work together. D's and R's are just pro wrestling, man. It's very interesting. Why did each of you pick your secret society?
Well, I guess for me, I had wanted to, first of all, even the reason I ever got into this stuff is, back in the day, I'd say probably like around 2009 and 10, I guess is, what people call now taking the red pill or waking up or whatever. I started going down the rabbit hole then, and very quickly I had just believed that secret societies were involved into this controlling of the world of the matrix that we're in. So eventually the reason I had gotten into it is because I truly believed that and thought if I was able to learn how magic works, maybe I can kind of remove myself from the system or at least go along with it and have an easier life, And eventually I had started looking into different orders. And I will say the OTO would not have been my first choice. My first choice probably would have been the Golden Dawn because of the same reason Lux joined, not really being associated with Crowley, but I didn't have really any options where I lived. I was really the only one somewhat close to me was the OTO. So I was like, screw it, I'll deal with it. I'll go. And years later, I was still there.
That's so interesting.
Believe it or not, it is so easy to join these things. People don't realize you can just actually find their website and they will show you where they have lodges and you can find them. They got Facebooks, all sorts of social media. You can easily get in touch with them and contact them and just tell them you want to show up.
I was going to ask, what was the initiation? Blood in, blood out? You get jumped in, jumped out. You're like, nah, just sign up website. Just pay $10 and you're in.
That's so interesting. That takes away. But I'm sure that's how it is. It's like you got to get as many people in as you can, and then you kind of sort through it. It's almost like, it's like Storage Wars.
Hey,
you just buy a storage, and you hope there's one treasure in the storage, right?
But that just makes you a soldier, right? How do you go up in the ranks? I'm guessing there's ranks, right?
Of course.
There's degrees, yeah. Actually, tell you the truth, if you get baptized or confirmed in the OTO, I think you are claiming to be a soldier for Horus. So it's kind of funny that you
a soldier for Horus. Damn.
Yes.
Whoa.
Damn, dude. So, why did you join yours?
Really just for the structure, just because I was looking for something where I could have sort of like one-on-one training with someone who had really studied the occult for a lot longer than I had. And instead of rifling through a ton of different books that had truth and bullshit in them and me trying to find out for myself what was true and bullshit, I figured, well, this society is, really well established. So let me go ahead and reach out to them. And that was about like a year-long process of before initiation. And they really dug into like my past and personality traits. They wanted to know my birth date right away because they felt as though there was an influence of my birth date. And so that was about a year after I had applied. Then I finally did my initiation. So that was very crazy experience.
Your initiation was crazy?
Yeah, definitely.
They pegged them.
There's something about the butthole that's spiritual, I guess. It's like...
Oh, I want to add, too, I did join the OTO thinking it was going to be structured. And you would get a mentor. You get none of that. You're on your own. I do want to add that.
Well, it's hard.
I was under the illusion that it would be, and it wasn't.
There's no structure. It was just kind of
Well,
like.
I mean, they do have structure, as in like officers, and they do have like classes and certain things set up. But you're on your own. You show up there, nobody's helping you out unless you ask them. You're not going to get somebody to show you the ropes.
Is it like, are the meetings like what are the meetings like? Are they like, is it like entering like an AA meeting and there's like everybody sitting around drinking coffee, or is it like entering a haunted house and you got to pull a lever and a bookshelf opens up?
Or is it like Bohemian Grove?
Everyone's walking around with towels on. Like, what is it?
It's funny that you say that with the AA meeting, because like AA meetings have like a lot of phrases that they use, right? Like common phrases that they say. For sure. And whenever you go to the OTO and it's always like 93, Thelema.
Yeah,
I was
for sure.
Like, no, it made me feel like I was at a fucking horrible AA meeting or something. And then, a lot of times they always like read off this thing too, and I was like, yo, this reminds me of like the fucking preamble.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck's going on here? This is a cult. No offense.
No, I've heard that a bunch of times about AA, but it's an interesting thing. Anyways, that's a different topic. But so that's how it is. You kind of come in, you grab coffee, and do you guys?
Well, there's no coffee.
They don't serve coffee at these secret societies.
Well, I don't know about Lux, but like I could say like after our Gnostic Mass, because it is like basically their version of like church. You will get a cake of light and a shot of wine or a glass of wine. And if you don't drink wine, you can have grape juice, but you'll get that at the end, as if you're doing confirmation.
What are the biggest misconceptions of the occult, do you believe?
I mean, I think that the biggest misconception is that, and it's perpetuated for a reason. I think that the general public believes that it's a bunch of people running around in Slipknot like T-shirts with like dyed
Billy shop at a Hot Topic and some shit.
Yeah, and for me at least in my experience, it was the total opposite of that. It was people who were very well dressed, people of positions of pretty significant importance in the community and school systems, lawyers, things like that, and so you would never pick them up off of the street. It's not generally what people think how they look.
I think people think the occult of either one or two things. Either like young witch people, right? Like either super goth, or again, like you said, a bunch of bright colored hair, or like eyes wide shut old dudes in like pig mask and chanting weird shit while hot chicks grind on chairs and shit. Like that's kind of like what I think people think the occult is. Is that far off?
You've ever seen the show The American Horror Story?
If the chicks are about 200 pounds or more, you might be closer.
Yeah.
At least from the women I've seen in the OTO.
What's that?
At least from the women I've seen in the OTO.
Oh, there's no young hot chicks in the OTO? Nobody's into that?
I mean, if they are, they're probably on OnlyFans also.
Is the OTO like the curves of fucking secret societies? I'm gonna get fucking cursed. Nothing against anybody, dog.
No, but I was telling you, you've never seen American Horror Stories? They made the whole occult thing cool and hip for females and stuff. You've seen it, Johnny?
Well, I think women are very much. I don't watch occult programming. They're very much. They're more attuned to it. There's a part of occultism, magic that involves faith that women are a lot more into. Men are more into structured religion. Women are more into the spirituality side, crystals, energies,
horoscopes,
all that stuff is more. I do believe when it comes to astrology, they get taught the stuff that isn't the super magic, in my humble opinion. Like, and that's why you always see like, oh my God, yes, caviar. Like that's not the real stuff that like the billionaires follow. That's like the $1 chuck of meaning like a box wine of like what we're talking about, low shelf.
Yeah, and both of those things exist, in my opinion. I mean, you have the super high up elite, again, because the further that you go up into occult orders, you'll see that they become more and more exclusive. And for example, right, if you want to become a Shriner, you have to be a Mason first. And there's no way getting around that. You have to be a Mason first. You even have to have a certain degree. And then once you're in the Shriners, then turns out there's a secret society within the Shriners, and it's by invite only, and it's all comprised of judges, police officers, intelligence agency guys. I mean, it's nuts, and you can only be invited to be in this order, and they're called the Royal Order of the Jesters. But you get this trend of, well, it starts out in this wide base of a ton of different people, and then it gets selected, and more people get weeded out until, you get that special invite to go to one of those things that would be more similar to like the Illuminati Eyes Wide Shut stuff.
It's a pyramid.
Yep, yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Gotta play ball.
And like, are there, so Eddie Bravo and I, one of the first shows we ever did with the Tinfoil Hat Comedy Tour, was we played San Francisco. And were you there for that one?
No, I wasn't there for that one.
Okay. So we did San Francisco, and they sent us on a suicide mission. And it was basically, they had us performing at a club that wasn't part of a humongous comedy festival going on. And the club wasn't part of it, so they were just trying to do any kind of business. Well, we ended up packing it out. I couldn't believe it. So after we were done, the line was around the block to meet us. One guy came up and he showed us a Freemason ring, and he goes, "We would really like you guys to come down to our lodge. We'd love to show you around." And Eddie and I were just like, "Nope, we're cool." But I wonder if we've been like, "Hey, yeah, let's go down, dude. You guys got pizza and shit?" And we would have gone down there. Oh. Maybe pizza wasn't the right thing to use. Yeah. I was like, what's the most innocent thing? Oh, it's not easy. If you had like chips and salsa, there you go.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. There we go. Fried chicken. No, chicken's also something. So just chips.
Fried chicken.
Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa. Is that the only thing we have now?
Chips and salsa. Yeah.
Damn it.
That's the only thing that doesn't have any occult.
But chips are triangles, man.
Yeah.
Johnny, chips are my favorite, dude.
So
Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed. I wonder if we had gone down, if there would have been some weird shit going down.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, even you hear like, because Alex Jones and Eddie Bravo and stuff, a lot of times they've appeared on the same podcast, and they've kind of listen to Alex Jones. He talks about how he went to some of these meetings and a guy would come right up to him and grab him by his junk and be like, "Hey, we want to talk to you. We want to make sure that you're taken care of." It's like a mob boss, more or less, trying to convince you to join them so that, you can be an asset or at least in their pocket. It's just, I mean, I dare to think what you could have seen if you would have went with them. That would have been probably pretty weird.
Yeah, I had some fucking person put out on the internet that Eddie was a Freemason, and I'm like, dude, I've hung out with Eddie Bravo so much. You couldn't get farther away from a Freemason than Eddie Bravo. He won't even talk. He wants nothing to do with any exposure at all. And it's like, it just, makes you question when people call everybody a shill, when they're calling Eddie Bravo a shill. Unless, it's impossible. It's like, I've hung out with this guy so much. He wants nothing to do with anybody. He just wants to.
He's in his own role. Like, as weird as it sounds, he just doesn't talk to 10 Planet people, but he's just in his role where,
Jesus.
He's not out there trying to hang out with Masons.
But it was like, we were like, nah, we're good. And I always wonder, like, what that would have been, what would have happened, So you guys do this, and did you guys get pretty high up?
I mean, enough to where I'd be it probably wouldn't have been an issue for me to leave the way I did.
Okay, so
I mean, I'll put it this way. I try to have some bit of to stay anonymous. But if you go up to the second degree in the OTO, I think you just knocked out like 60% of the rest of the lodge. So, like, when we start getting into numbers of how far we got up, that's going to narrow it down greatly.
How many levels are there?
The OTO, there's Minerval and then 12 degrees.
There's 12 degrees. Damn.
And Minerva, which is that's an honored guest. That's like 1 foot in and 1 foot out. They'll start charging you for dues, but you know you're not a full member yet.
Not until you pay that money.
And how much are dues? Do you know?
A lot.
Well, it depends. I know for me, it was just dependent on the lodge or camp or whatever, Oasis, whatever it was. It could be anywhere from like $20 to $40. I mean, the initiations, you're probably paying like $150, $200 if you take an initiation.
What are these 1920 prices?
Flights are more expensive than that.
$150.
Oh, okay. All right, 150. I thought it was $1.50. I'm like, dude, maybe they might want to fucking up their ante a little bit.
Yeah, and you got a lot to pay for. Robes. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff you got to pay for.
It's like joining a softball team. I mean, Jesus, you got
It really is.
the gear, gonna get catcher's mitt.
Now,
Right.
I know it's going to sound crazy, but during the pandemic, did these secret societies move to Zoom meetings, right? When they like, see us on Zoom like all the AA meetings did?
Yo, that's one of the reasons why I actually finally left is because I decided to go on one of their Zoom meetings.
Oh, really?
They already have masks on. What are they worrying about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, dude.
Oh, that is something very interesting, and I'll bring that up since you said that. The Astrum Argentum, which is a secret society that was started by Crowley, supposedly, they do have masks or hoods that you wear that covers your mouth, and circles are supposed to be 6 feet apart. So I did find that to be a coincidence.
I think all this is a ritual. I think the serfs wearing masks is a giant ritual. When you see the fucking people
Absolutely.
at the Met Gala fucking not wearing masks, why they're like, women, uplift women, why all the women behind her are fucking straight up,
Although I will-
mass up.
I will say that our event this weekend didn't look much different than that.
In the crowd was a mask.
But all the servers have masks on though. It was kind of the same look. If we're gonna
that's
go there,
true.
yeah. So
That's
maybe are
true.
we unwittingly participating in the ritual, possibly?
Well, I do not believe. Well, I mean, like, here's the whole thing. There were people. Okay, maybe you're right, Johnny. I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
but they didn't pay $50,000 to join
Yeah.
to go watch it.
No, but it just goes to your point, though.
No, you're right.
They're making us all unwitting participants in a ritual. That's my point. You know?
Yeah, I agree on that, dude. I don't like seeing people mask. I think some people really enjoy wearing masks, and it's very uncomfortable, especially this giant albino monkey I almost got in a fight with in Starbucks. Big ass dude. Yeah, having 2 masks on in 2021, yelling at me about my nose being out. I just don't understand the world we live in, but that's a whole different story. So you
Did you ask him if he was vaccinated?
Oh, I do. Dude, if you see someone with 2 masks on, what do you think the probability of them being vaccinated is?
100%.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with that. It's 120%.
They for
So
sure
then
got
what's
the
he worried
boost already,
about?
too.
Yeah, this guy's got the booze. He's fucking cutting in line for a third booze, a fourth booze. It's just like, yeah, man. But, so you go to these things. What are these rituals like?
Well, there's different types of rituals. You get together certain times of the year for equinoxes or, some larger mass or Gnostic mass type ritual. A lot of the ritual work, the more ritual work was done for me at home, sort of in my daily life. It consumed a lot of my day. Rituals in the morning, rituals at night, journaling through all of my different practices and astrology shit and tarot that I'd studied for the day. But when you go to the actual lodge, and sometimes we would even have our rituals done in a Masonic lodge, which was very weird to me the first time that I ever found out that I was going to be going to a Masonic lodge, because I was like, I thought I was in the Golden Dawn. What does this have to do with masonry? I guess we were doing, rituals in their lodges, but most of the time it's very dark. Everyone's robed up. You get naked beforehand. You put on your robes. Depending on the ritual, you stand in a certain formation.
Are you standing there naked?
Sometimes, yeah.
I'd have to blue chew it up, bro. There's no way I'm coming there with shrinkage and everyone. Because, dude, if you come in there with the littlest dick in the room, there's no way they're making you the leader, right? There's no way.
Yeah. I took a half a bottle of Super Male Vitality every time.
I'm with you, bro. I'm coming fucking locked and loaded, bro. Let everybody know I'm here for damage, dog.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you go to the OTO, half the guys there don't acknowledge they have one anyway, so you beat half of them out.
What does that even mean, dude? I don't even know what that means. Are they eunuchs? Is that what you're saying? People become...
No, it's the OTO can be very sexual, so you get a lot of people there that have weird sexual identities and stuff that are attracted to that order instead.
What is that part of the initiation? This weird sex stuff?
I mean, maybe higher up. That I can't tell you for sure, but nothing that I've experienced, no.
Because that's supposedly skull and crossbones. You got to sit there and tell them all the weird shit you did, or they make you do a weird-ass thing in front of everybody, which is a big occult thing, right? Which is...
No, I mean, you do a whole bunch of weird-ass things in these initiations, but, I mean, none of them that I've seen have been, you had to screw anybody or get fucked.
Why? But so what is weird?
Yeah, what's...
I mean, putting you in like I'll say, in the first degree, you will get put inside of it's like a makeshift jacuzzi, kind of like a tub looking thing. And you will be put in there and you sit in, it's probably like fucking 2 minutes, but it could feel like forever when you're in there. And they'll close the top and act like they're nailing it closed. I mean, I guess that's kind of like weird or creepy.
Like a coffin?
No. You're in a jacuzzi.
It would be like a big tub where, to me, it's it's showing you going back into the womb, something to that degree.
I would freak out.
You will have to for the first. Nah, it wasn't that bad. I will say for the first degree in the OTO, if you want to go any farther, if you want to complete it, you will have to get naked. I mean, that's weird.
Are you just doing push-ups before you take your shirt off? You're like, okay, dude, I'm about to get naked. It's gotta fucking shred this out real quick.
Are they cool with you talking about all this? Is that
no?
I mean, but are you going to get in trouble? Is what I'm saying. Like, will there be consequences?
No. Better question: Are we going to get in trouble?
I haven't said on anybody else's show on my own. So,
so have they? I mean, what have been the consequences for you then? Have you had any?
No, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think unless you start pointing the finger at specific people and places, they really don't care because they'll just deny or ignore whatever you said.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm not pointing at specific people for doing certain things.
Got it.
So, why did you guys get out? Why did you guys leave?
I got out because I began to find stuff in the literature because I would have coursework that I had to complete in a certain amount of time. I found all of these weird. It was like I was reading a lesson that was from the Golden Dawn, but then where it would say, such and such Golden Dawn ritual, that where it said Golden Dawn, it was like it was whited out at one point. And Golden Dawn had been put over that as if they were taking it from somewhere else and then just saying, oh, this is the Golden Dawns. And I was like, wait, this is really kind of, making me feel weird. And so I started to inquire about it and I got this really, just non-answer. And then I started to see more and more of these things of where they were referencing other groups and groups that I was not told that we were affiliated and associated with, that, if I would have went further and gotten into the inner order of the Golden Dawn, I would have eventually been pushed into another inner order that was specifically for thelemic magic, which I had said right from the jump to the people that I had sent my
resume to
paper. There's no way that I was involved. I wanted to be involved with that, So
why didn't you want to be involved with that? I mean, what was your thinking at the moment?
For me, just I had known how much of the thelemic magic had been developed by Crowley, and it so immediately always made me have a bad taste in my mouth about studying that stuff because it leans towards the dark occult or black occultism, or types of occultism I didn't want to necessarily get deep into. And I told him that, and then it was like not only that, but they would ignore a lot of the things that I would ask them that I felt like could be really important to my development in the order. There was this weird mentality at the top. All the top guys always seemed like robots, and they were just so totally unemotional. And we would have this one guy who would come around from time to time, and he had on all of these different rings, right? I'm talking like Super Bowl size rings. And he's coming in to check things out, and you wouldn't see him all the time, but I eventually found out that he was sort of the guy who was coming to check things out for our order, but he was also in charge of other orders, including other orders that didn't belong to the Golden Dawn. So come to find out, the more research that I did, our order fed into Thelemic Magick, and I was never told about it, lied to when I asked about it. And so I was like, I'm done. Because I'm not going to say something if I'm being lied to and the goalpost is being moved every time that I have an inquiry.
That's so interesting, dude. That's so interesting. So it's like games upon games.
Right, because I had given them so much just from the jump. Like, I mean, even to get initiated, they wanted to know my deepest, darkest secret. They wanted me to put a hood over my head while I was getting driven to the location for initiation. I couldn't let anyone know where I was going for that, which is very, very fucking creepy. It's like, I don't know you. Like, I don't know you. I don't know where we're going. And, they wouldn't even give the person that I had traveled to initiation with the address of where initiation was. They wanted to pick me up and drop me off. And it was just... so I gave them that much trust in the beginning, and then to just feel as though that they never could be transparent with me about things that I was getting into, that just it was enough.
I get that, dude. It becomes like, if I'm gonna put my faith in you, what's going on, right? I mean, like, that becomes almost like the military. It's like, I'm joining this with the hopes of doing this, this, and this. I'm assuming you have my best interest at heart, and I think that's a big problem on why people aren't joining the military right now, because those people have shown an inability to show any sort of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I forget what the fucking word I'm looking for. Any ability to fucking lead correctly, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
and it's like, I'm not anti-military. I'm anti-leadership in the military. You got this fucking piece of shit that's calling China about nukes. Like, in our military, dog. That guy, make treason a capital punishment again. That's what I say. We haven't had a good head chopping in a long time. Right? So you guys could get out. So which one's Lux and which one's New York, by the way?
Wow.
New York's right here. Lux is
You're in New York.
Lux is you can't see.
New York. Why did you get out?
I mean, first off, I'll even say the whole time I was in it, I was never 100% comfortable. I made a few close friends or, associates really, that I kept in touch with that I thought, actually knew what they were doing. But I never was really 100% comfortable or like even sold on the thing. It was a very different type of style of people. And getting into that is part of the reason why I left too. In my opinion, from the lodges that I have been to, it is very much of a leftist ideology and groups of people there. Very over-sexualized with some things. And it just, I could see already, even not being, so much into the politics, that it was just very much of a leftist ideology being pushed there. And I just wasn't with that. So I was never totally sold there. Eventually, the real problem, I think, is that once I started having magical experiences or stuff that I, believed was real magic with the K, I had noticed that, in my opinion, that lodge isn't what it was or what it seemed. In my opinion, I do think that they hide the truth. And throughout initiations, as you go along, if you go up high enough, there's a really good, in my opinion, there's a really good possibility that you will be a complete slave to them. you will not know what real magic is at all, and they will be using it on you, or you will be a guinea pig for them.
You're just a pawn. Is that what you're saying? You realize you were just going to be a pawn?
In my opinion, yes, yeah. And the thing is that I think if somebody was to have a real magical experience and maybe try to talk to somebody there about it, it may not work out for the best for you, because, you know, when you start, in my opinion, start having real like magic experiences in occultism, it might scare the living shit out of you, because now things that you had thought as a belief or a faith or a theory has become 100% reality for you. And that's a real big fucking difference. I'm going to say it, you know, that could just shatter some people's strong-minded people's psyche in some ways, you know, and that type of place is not going to be the best people to be around for that type of stuff.
Is the term selling your soul apropos here? And I don't even know if that's the correct term to use it as apropos, but
the whole thing, you know, it's in there. It's very easy for them to start idolizing people, and believe it or not, you know, in real magic, to produce real magic, and Lux always says it too, it's very, very much at first, for you to really get any real magical effects, you're going to have to do a lot of psychological work on yourself, which a lot of people will call shadow work. That's really the best way to explain it. But you're going to have to really remove all the handcuffs and the chains that you have on, that has you believing that this place is worth something. Like, I'm tied to sex, trucks, materialistic things, ways of thinking, all these things that really hold you down to this earth and keep you locked into the fucking matrix. You need to remove all that. And if you were to look at what the OTO is about, kind of, you would see almost the opposite of that. So that is, you're not going to do your will. You'll never have that chance, because you'll have all these other things telling you what you should be, or how you should act, or how you should think. You're not doing any of the shadow work. If anything, you're embracing that stuff even more with their type of vibe that goes on. So in my opinion, inside that lodge, they are just making people more and more of the mind to never experience real magic. And what the fuck is that about? Why would you do that? Why would you want people like that there? It's got to be for a reason. I mean, I'll say it, as soon when you start going up high enough, for women, they're going to have to carve something into themselves. All right? If you can get a chick to fucking do that, you have got her manipulated and sold. You've got her in your clutches. She will do anything now. That is another slave. You will be pimped the fuck out at some point with something else if you keep going.
Nexium was fucking branding people.
Yeah.
I
mean, that was crazy. Other women branding other women.
And then the final, and so besides that, besides realizing, and honestly, tell you the truth, realizing what real magic is, that scared the living shit out of me. And I just don't think it shouldn't be something.
What is real magic?
It's when you can, in my opinion, it's when you can actually remove your soul from your body. And then you can click out of time and space and go other places.
It's heavy shit right there. I mean,
so if you have experiences like that and you go back to a place like that, I just don't think it's a good thing. I mean, I'll put it this way. If you look at magic as like maybe getting closer to God, you could say that's like a light bulb sitting in a lamp. And then you throw a shade on there, a blue one, that's the Golden Dawn. You throw a red one on there, that's the OTO. You throw a fucking different color on there, that's another order. All you're going to do and know is know their shade of magic that they want you to know. That's it. And then eventually, like you mentioned with Zoom meetings, I had went on there after I had not gone for months. I have not even been bothered. I went on to go see one, and they had to have a kumbaya about the whole George Floyd thing.
What?
Again. Another thing about emotions, emotions and feelings again. If you're a true magician and you're really doing the work and doing shadow work and trying to remain balanced, and I'm not saying this to sound screwed up or anything, but what happened to George Floyd, to me as a magician, really doesn't make a fucking difference. It's not going to stop me from eating dinner. It's not going to stop me from coming on tinfoil hat. It's not going to stop me from fucking my wife. That's his problem. It did not affect my life one point at all. It did not take anything away from my will. So
Hold
now, if we're gonna
on.
have a
Are you
kumbaya-
saying that wokeness
That's exactly what I was about to say.
infiltrated the secret societies?
A kumbaya.
Yes.
Kumbaya.
Yes. And
Exactly
then
what I was
when they decided to promote Antifa and say that we cannot let them be considered domestic terrorists because then our constitutional rights will fall. And when they started promoting BLM, that was the last straw. I never spoke to another person.
That
again.
is unbelievable to me. But that just it is both shocking and completely consistent with everything we've seen with the exposing of how and who people really are.
Do you think that is possibly something that came down from higher up, that they want to have like a side in the culture war and to propagate it?
I mean, I'll put it to, unfortunately, because I didn't save the email, I will say I can't remember if it was actually an OTO, actual email, or if it was from like a member that maybe made up a thing. But in my opinion, I think it was like through the OTO email and site, supposedly through them. So, I mean, it could have been something, I mean, they closed down for COVID too. I guess Jesus had more balls than Horus because the churches stayed open.
Oh my God.
What the fuck is up with that?
That's amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
When you talk about removing your soul from your body, now is that distinct from projection, astral projection? Or
I think that's like you're part of the way there.
You're part of the way there. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you're moving towards that direction. I mean, I don't know what Lux thinks. I mean, maybe he wanted to chime in on a little bit of that, but I think that's kind of like maybe you're still like heavily tethered. I think real magic, you're kind of more separated.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would say, people can become, or just naturally be very good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Astral travelers, for sure. And then I would say, like New York Patriot is talking about the total clicking out. That's way different experience. But I mean, they're more sort of one and the same, but one is a much, much lighter, like he said, tethered version.
Yeah, and we covered that on the Gateway Experience. Why I think that was such a good series is that we showed scientifically really how magic starts to work.
Right, because this is, I mean, for those who might not have gotten a chance to look into it, I definitely suggest you take a look, Google, never mind, you won't find it on that fucking shit platform. Maybe go to like DuckDuckGo or maybe Internet Archive and find the PDF that the CIA released alongside with the U.S. Army. They did nearly a decade-long study into what they called the Gateway Experience, where they more or less were taking a look at magic systems, and they were finding out if they had any legitimacy to it. It was done in a very scientific way. It was done by very high-level, people in the Army and in the CIA. It was top secret, and they were using these systems that people think are crazy or bunk or woo-woo, and they were using them to spy on Russia. They were using them to travel back and forth through time by teaching people astral projection. They were even able to scientifically prove occult laws, such as the law of vibration or the law of attraction or will. So I definitely encourage people to go take a look at that, because you don't have to believe us. We're not the one who put that out. I mean, take a look at what the CIA was forced to put out about their findings about the occult. So it's called the Gateway Project.
Oh my God, dude. It's crazy.
At one point, this is how crazy that this thing got with the CIA. Again, not us saying it. They were using people to astral travel, and I can prove this with documents. They were taking people, specific astral travelers who were way, way, way more gifted and stood out, sort of like the Peyton Manning of astral projectors, and they were using them to go back in time to different geolocations on Mars to look at different structures that were on Mars, or to possibly communicate with something that was there. And the person who is astral traveling, they don't know where they're going. The CIA just gives them a list of coordinates. That could be anywhere. It could be Africa. It could be Jupiter. It could be, Saturn. Doesn't matter. And they gave these coordinates to these participants, and that's what he described when he was giving his sort of download of what he saw was, Mars. And I mean, they confirm it in the document. It's crazy.
Unbelievable, dude. The world is so much crazier than people want to believe, right? I mean, it's so insane, dude. It's just, we live in crazy times. Like, I tried to explain this to people yesterday, and I somewhat forgot what I meant by it, but I think the laws of physics are were made to keep us boxed in a certain way of seeing the world, and things like astral projecting, or what's it called when you look somewhere else again? It's called
remote viewing.
That doesn't fit into that. And those are that is what makes our realm very special, in my humble opinion. Am I wrong?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we're just living in crazy fucking times, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy times. And these, everything is a mass ritual, right? I mean, do you guys think that when you look at pop culture, everything is a mass ritual done by occultics? It's like my belief, like the power structure is like when everyone's always like, oh, the Jews run the world. I'm like, they don't, man. Because even when you look at people like fucking Jeffrey Epstein, right? And his mega group and all that shit, there's so much occult symbolism with everything he fucking does that's like, they wear those religions, and you can tell me if I'm a crazy person, they wear those religions to walk amongst us.
Yep.
Absolutely.
100%. Yep.
You know which or TikTok dances?
Go on what? And then we'll get to that home. What were you guys saying?
Yeah, it's all a cover up. I mean, even you said big rituals being done. I mean, we can even touch on two things real quick. Even 9/11. I mean, the Twin Towers and every plane that was involved in that had a number associated with Aleister Crowley. Every single one of them. You had Flight 93, that's the for Thelema. That's the numerical value of Thelema. Then you had Flight 77, that's Libra Oz, Libra 77. That's like the commandments of a Thelemite. And then you had Flight 175, which is Libra 175, Libra Astarte. That's a book about how to add nations and things to your gods, or how to, make contact with them and give them things, I mean, you put all that shit together, it looks a little fucking shady.
Yeah. Take a look at January 6th.
Yeah, this was the other one. Yep.
January 6th was absolutely a ritual. If you take a look at what was being done on the floor of the house, the guy with the giant horns and all of that stuff with the face paint, and we have a whole episode about breaking that down of what it really was. And it's literally an occult ritual for war, to the invocation of chaos. It's a chaos magic ritual that's done to invoke war. Even down to the clothes that he's wearing, where the paint is on his face, why it's being done in a certain chamber. Yeah, it's all a ritual.
You don't think TikTok dances are a little bit of a ritual? You got people dancing the same thing over and over.
Oh, how about the crate challenge?
Crate thing. That crate thing. Yeah, it was like the steps of the Masons. Ray Charles could have seen that shit.
I feel like this thing with Gabby Petito too there's something going on with this.
Oh, for sure, dude.
I think that's to resemble the killing of the Virgin, and now the next thing would be is the Scarlet Whore.
Well, tell me how this fits in. If it does, it seems they might have found this guy's body today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they found some remains near. Well, it's interesting, right? The FBI's been searching for this guy for forever now, and the parents go out to look for him. 30 minutes later, they find his shit, and then there's a body next to it.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, what a coincidence.
So, they did. So they find the body.
They found remains. His parents go out, and 30 minutes later, they find his shit, like a book bag and stuff like that, and then they find remains near there. Now, they have not said it's him yet, but it seems likely.
And there's this whole belief that that they knew where he was the whole time. They actually helped him get out, right? And then you go to that iPet goat. He's there's scenes from that where she has pictures that look exactly like that. Like
we covered that too, iPet Goat.
Yeah, and that's some interesting stuff. So where are you guys spiritually now? Well, real quick before we get into that. So, I mean, everything is a magic ritual in society, right? They're using it against us to just, put us in spells and brainwash us?
I think so. I mean, even if, like, to go back to the gateway experience again, all that is people putting headphones on with certain sounds being played in it. Vibrational rates, just vibrations, will make you do things and think certain ways. And that's exactly, in my opinion, what mostly magic is about, is through color and sound, they're affecting your psyche and making you tick the way they want you to.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this for a long time. The occult or magic is a lot of different things. But one of the things that it is at the heart of occultism is the deep understanding of the mental psyche and how to use certain psychological tricks in order to get people to do what you want them to do. And like New York Patriot said, influence them with everything from colors to movements to sounds to vibration. I mean, they've been studying for a long time. They got it down pretty pat, and it looks to me, when you look around, they're doing a pretty good job of it, because we're living in crazy world, and it must take some serious magic to get us to where we are now.
I mean, you could even put it this way. When I was talking before about doing shadow work, if you're a real magician and you're really doing shadow work, you are going to find out how you work, what makes you tick, what makes you fearful, what makes you happy. All those things you're going to have to really figure out. Why do I have those emotions? What makes me do that? When you figure that stuff out about yourself, we're all pretty much the same, really. Some people might be a little extremes with other things. Maybe this little fear will make them do that instead of this person over here. But we all pretty much tick the same way. And if you have to learn that about yourself, you're going to learn how to manipulate other people too, because you know how you're manipulated.
Is magic, I know you said about losing your soul, but isn't there more like magic is about manipulating energy?
Yeah, you're manipulating your energy out of your body.
Right? You're manipulating, but even that is like energy around you, all that stuff is like, I always felt like that was what a big part of magic was, being able to manipulate the energy and people around you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things that really freaked me the fuck out, actually.
Yep, and one of the biggest secrets they don't want people to know about. I mean, think about how much money they spend and how much time they invest doing these types of giant rituals to influence the entire public. Well, it kind of seems like they're a little bit afraid of something. Well, in my opinion, if they're putting that much time and energy into all that stuff to make people slaves, then the biggest thing that they're afraid of is people's will. They do not want people to understand how much your will, right? Well, how much your will can influence the things around you. See how they always try and keep people in a state of fear, right? Be afraid of Antifa, be afraid of the Proud Boys, be afraid of Trump, be afraid of global warming, be afraid of everything, right?
You know,
so it creates this chaotic, it creates this chaotic thing. So if you had the will to change, if everyone just said, okay, stop, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to walk outside of my house. Not going to worry about this damn, jab they're trying to put in my arm, or not worried about the next super spreader. I'm just going to live my life and pay attention and think rationally and research. That's the last thing that they want to do, because they know that once people switch off of that vibration of fear, then their will, the people's will, begin to influence reality. And if too many people are living in non-fear, well, then their plan breaks apart.
I completely agree with that, dude. I think we have all the power. And there, a great example of fear that you're talking about is, dude, the FBI is going to start monitoring people at these parent-teacher conferences. Oh, yeah. If you, dude, you should go down there and yell, because we're watching. And we're going to do, and like moms are like, go fuck yourself. And that's everything. Everything. I even believe in my heart of hearts that this whole supply chain bullshit's happening too. Like people are just like, no, man, go fuck yourself. Nah, go fuck yourself. I don't believe in anything you're doing and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I really do believe is happening. And they are just, remember murder hornets were coming? Oh. Remember murder hornets were going to kill all of us?
Shit every year though, and it never goes anywhere.
Because we have all the power. They have to lower our loosh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you know what happens? And then when they lower us and make us so scared, then exactly what they want to happen happens. We get so scared, we don't realize who we are. We don't think we can do anything. And then we pick the motherfuckers that they've handed us as a savior who's not going to do anything either.
I know. And that's why I'm like, I don't care about federal anymore. I really don't. You got Jen Patansky, whatever her name is, going, oh no, federal overrules state and local. You're like, no, bitch. It's called the 10th Amendment. Suck one. If I thought you were any good at dick sucking, I'd let you do it. You look like you're garbage at it, okay? Stay away from my fucking junk with your bullshit logic, okay?
The only time federal is important is in federal buildings or federal department like that. Like
but they can't override state laws. And like that was the big, unless I'm wrong, but that's another trick they're trying to pull on us.
Like the only time I knew you were allowed, like even though weed's legal here, you can't go smoke it in a national park because that's federal property.
Well, honestly, this whole area is something that was never fully fleshed out. It's really kind of, I mean, it's yet to be. I mean, it's part of it.
So I can do whatever I want.
Part of it's what the Civil War was about, federal supremacy. But yeah, I mean, like the sheriff really is the ultimate authority in any given area. You know, the sheriff can decide not to enforce laws, and they won't be enforced.
So where are you guys spiritually right now?
You can go, Lux.
I mean, for me, I think that as with all things, there's stuff that I learned in the Golden Dawn that was helpful for me for the time. But it was very short-sighted in the information that I was given that didn't really give me any long-term effects. So honestly, I think that I've just really started to study. I was really into Buddhism for a long time, but more or less I've been researching like Gurdjieff and Opinski. So these are two really interesting guys to check out if anybody's not heard of them before, but they are coming from a perspective that is, again, de-occulting the occult and more or less streamline things to say, look, your goal is to control your thoughts, all of your thoughts, because every day you have a billion thoughts that are not your own. Sometimes you can go through a whole day and not even remember what you did. You know, you can't remember what you had for lunch last week. So a lot of the life that we live is in this unconscious state of reaction to what's happening around us, which is no different than animals, right? And so it's very easy to be influenced by everything else in the world and outside of it if you're not conscious at all times. So for me, I've really been cracking down on like meditation. I do a lot of yoga and just monitoring like sort of my thoughts and behavior and what I'm doing. Why am I doing it? What can I get rid of that's bad for me? What can I integrate that's good for me? Like, why am I behaving this certain way? Why am I reacting this certain way? So really, it's more of that inner work that we talked about earlier, because that's some of the most important, if not the most important work that you can do in all of Magick is going through that purification, process and figuring out why am I the way that I am, and if I can figure out how I think and where my consciousness is and how I'm interacting with energies and things around me, well, maybe it's possible to not stay trapped here anymore, but eventually maybe there's a way to get out.
Okay. So I completely agree with everything you're saying. I'm totally down with all that. I live in that world. I think there is no reality. There's only perception, and your thoughts become your reality. And that is, to me, magic. That is energy. Energy you put out is energy you get back. Law of abundance, all that stuff. And these secret societies. They manipulate us. But, it's like somebody said, the occult doesn't exist anymore because of guys like you and other people who come out and say what's going on, and that knowledge is power. And the more knowledge you have, the less power they have. So in terms of like everybody now is waking up to this, that there is no R's and there are no D's. There's just this dark arts cabal that was kind of ushered in by the George Bush. And it's been the George Bush clan since, and it doesn't matter if it's R's or D's. It's all been George Bush clan since they assassinated JFK. And they've been working on this forever, but that's when they got into the house and like started to change everything slowly. They did all these rituals on us and ran all this magic, making us think the Clintons and the Bushes were going at each other. And in reality, it's all one fucking team.
They did again with Obama.
Bird's not going to go anywhere if both wings don't flap.
Right. And listen, whatever Trump is, and I don't think Trump is, if you're asking me, Trump wasn't part of that. He was a different crime organization trying to go in and grab the reins because another group wanted to come in there and run some shit. And that's my opinion. I don't think he's a Bush guy. Maybe he's a Clinton person, but I just think he is represent another group trying to grab the reins from another scumbag group. So this was a mob war, in my humble opinion.
Really good way to put it.
But they're all like, whether it's Zionists or communists, it's still outside influences trying to come in and control how important this country is. And I think everybody's waking up to it. And that's just my honest, humble opinion.
I think more of that is happening, yes.
So you guys, if they wanted to find you guys, where can they find you? How do you want to end it, man? This has been a great episode. I've really enjoyed talking to you guys. You guys are a really good group of guys. How do we end this? Like, what is the hope? What is your hope for the future right now? Are you black pilled? Are you red pilled? Are you white pilled? Are you like a swirl of a little black with a little white? I'm a red pillar.
I think if people start internalizing more instead of looking outside themselves, if they start to realize who they really are and what makes them really tick, and if they work towards changing themselves for a positive, I think the world itself will just kind of go along in the same way. I do think there's hope, but I think we have a lot of work ahead of us. Like I even said, just the fact of people always having false idols and prophets and always looking up to something and never to themselves, I think is a huge problem. And that needs to start to change.
Nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'll even say, like, you mentioned like the, beliefs in spirituality. I mean, with me, I'm not like this big Jesus freak, but or a Christian or anything like that. But I will say, like, because of Magick, I feel that I have a better connection with God and the story of Jesus. In some sense, I can understand a little bit more and respect the man 100 times more than I would going by the story in the Bible. But
I agree with that statement.
I believe with the power of God through me, I can do anything.
All right,
not that he's going to come down and wipe my ass when I shit myself. He's going to give me the strength to do whatever needs to be done.
If he did that, you have to show up every weekend. Am I right, everybody?
Yeah, right.
God's like, again? Fuck, bro.
There's a toilet shortage.
God, I thought I gave you an adjustable butthole that worked. You're always shitting yourself.
Maybe he's wiping everybody's asses. I guess that's the problem.
I just want to end with I'd love to get your take on that as well, Lux. But real quick, because I saw two things: planetary magic, elemental magic. What are the difference between those?
Well, I'll take planetary magic. It's just basically working with certain, traits of certain celestial bodies and how they affect you based on your astrological sign, and it's a lot to explain, but it's essentially working with those energies, either invoking them, so bringing them into your reality or your realm, or banishing these because they know that they could potentially be not best for you. So yeah, I would say that would be just study of the of that type of magic would rely heavily on having a deep understanding of astrology.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, there's so much going. You guys have said so much stuff that resonates with me. First of all, Jesus, you know, it's like if I remember being on a buddy show of mine lately, and I brought up the Bible, and he's like, the Bible, and I'm like, okay, man, that's cool, dude, because I was there at one point, you know, and then that's not who I am anymore. Not that I'm an organized religion guy, and not that I know the exact story of Jesus, because, you know, they use the fact that Jesus, there different people with the same story Jesus are found in different religions, right? And they use that as a sign, that meaning it's not real. But for me, that says that something happened. There was a story that happened, that a star seed, in my humble opinion, comes down, does something, and each culture tells its story in its language. And it's not that they're ripping each other off. They're each telling the story in their own philosophy and their own religion and their own language. Does that make any sense? It's just the same story being told. It doesn't mean that it's all counterfeit. It just means they're each telling the story in their religion, in their philosophy.
I mean, just think about it. If two people saw a story, one of them speaks Spanish, one of them speaks English, it might be the whole completely different story. One guy's there's just going to be a different story. It's
going to be different words, different language, told in different times, right?
Yeah, you just separate them by hundreds of years. And then even to go more extreme with it, there are people and groups that have specifically tried to change translations and change meaning of words. They bury it under different languages, and that some of that's on purpose, and some of it's just like the game of telephone. Tell a story over 1,000 years, it's going to change.
Or you could have a SamTripoli in there, and he exaggerates the fuck out of the story.
So for me, dude, it's just like it's one story that's been told by different people, and it doesn't mean that there's some sneaky shit going on. It's just, you know, the like he said, Hispanic people who speak Spanish will tell one story. People who speak English will tell. People who speak Hebrew will tell another one. People who speak whatever Middle Eastern language at the time will tell the story in their language, in their way. Doesn't mean it shows that it's just been copied and copied. It just means that's being told the story. Johnny, does that make any sense at all?
I understand. Yeah.
Thank you. Wow, your enthusiasm was unbelievable.
Wow, dude, yeah, you're right on it, SamTripoli.
I didn't ask you to go to fucking morning zoo radio guy.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what you want.
Okay. Okay. Lux, what is yours? What is your spirituality right now?
Oh, I think you mean New York Patriot.
Oh yeah. So no, excuse me. So we did planetary magic. What is elementary magic? My apologies.
Elemental magic would be more like, the same thing like he had said, planetary magic. But it's going to be here, like in this world, Earth. You'll have earth, water, fire, and air. Basically, if you wanted to maybe invoke some of those energies to get something that you want or to acquire something you're trying to get at, you would do that. Or let's say maybe you need to remove something so you can get where you're trying to go. You could also banish, but it's much more on a smaller scale here, kind of like as a mundane thing. Planetary magic is much more almost kind of advanced, really. On a grander scale.
So interesting. Did I get to New York? Did I get to your spirituality, or did I only ask?
Well, I touched on it a little bit. I will say, one of the reasons even why I quit practicing magic, I will say, is I had realized, in my opinion, when I had certain magical experiences, coming back, or I guess, whatever you want to call it, coming back from the abyss, coming out of whatever I did, I had, there's things that I've even seen physical change, which really scared the shit out of me. Realizing that you're presented with some choices where I can maybe do some real good with this, or I can really do some fucked up shit with this as well. You know, you're going to come to these crossroads and you're going to be like, oh, this is a fucking choice. And me, I wasn't gangster enough to make that choice. So I just bowed out and stopped because I knew I wasn't the one to really, I wasn't, you know, the person to start fucking with shit like that. And for me, I do believe in some ways Jesus Christ had the experience of crossing over to the spirit world, to the abyss, and understood what really magic is. And he did not make the choice to be a piece of shit. And I find that very admirable. You know, that speaks volumes to me now than before, you know, believing in Jesus prior to Magick. So my spiritual thing, I guess, you know, I kind of look to that as maybe as what I would aspire to be today, you know, the idea of who he was.
It is very interesting because this dude shows up in all these different philosophies all over the place.
I think it's telling the same story over and over again.
Yeah, I do. And I think when Bill Maher put that into his religiosity or whatever it was called. Religious and to mocking it. I think that's done purposefully to get people to not believe in that stuff. Guys, you guys are great. Awesome
Thank you.
podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If they wanted to find you, where can they find you guys?
Lux, you plug the Occult Rejects and I'll plug my show.
Yeah, you can find the Occult Rejects at or anywhere that podcasts are streamed. Apple, Spotify, etc. You can also find us on Gab. You can find us on Rumble. We can't find us on YouTube because we got kicked off of that.
Congratulations.
It's like a badge of honor. Yeah, we covered one subject they didn't like, and just overnight, poof, all of it was gone. Yeah. So yeah. You can find us also on Discord. We have a cool Discord group that you can jump on and join and have a great discussion about it, the Occult Rejects. So.
Yes. And then I do have my own show, the NY Patriot Show. It's mainly I just have guests on topics that I think are interesting and try to get other people known to. That's on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and all major podcasts, the NY Patriot.
All right, man. What a great episode, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know we've been waiting a while to do it, and it was more than it was exactly what I was hoping for. So thank you guys so much. Thank you guys again for all the kind words about the 500, and I hope to see you in Miami. I hope somebody comes to see me in Miami. I hope you guys, I love you guys very much. Thank you for the support, and we will see you guys soon. Take care.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack.